Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, bonjour, bonsoir à tous, et bienvenue à Wada Forum. Welcome to this week's edition of Wada Forum. We're so glad to have you here with us today. Today's agenda will be going over, after our opening and introduction to the meeting space, we'll have our regular spot for community network updates. And then we'll go into some more detail of some of the different things that are happening within Intersect, in particular, some how-tos and showcasing about candidates for the election on the Intersect board. And then going a bit more deep into our Cardano governance quarter with a very exciting announcement. So to kick us off today, as usual, we will be reading our statement of purpose. And this is often, sometimes we read at the beginning just to center ourselves, remind us all of why we're here today. And we like to call on people from the audience to read. So I'm very thrilled to have some of our Cameroonian Hub members with us today, and actually our delegates that will be representing us in Argentina. So I wanted to first call on Maureen to read the English and then Mermos for the French. If you're able to unmute and then just read the words on the slide. Maureen?
Okay. Statement of purpose, our mission: to elevate underrepresented groups through the application of technology and invest in a more equitable future.
Fantastic, thank you. Mermos?
Déclaration de but, notre mission: promouvoir les groupes sous-représentés grâce à l'application de la technologie et investir dans un avenir plus équitable.
Merci beaucoup. All right, so for those of you who were not here last week, I'll call up Adufwa to give a quick recap of our past meeting to orient you for today's session.
Hello, everyone. So yes,
Hello,
on last week's
Adufwa.
call, just a brief summary of what happened last week. So last week we spoke about Catalyst Fund 13. We said that the deadline was today. So that is passed, and the finalization deadline was October 16. We also shared the feedback form. Megan, maybe you can share that again today. And we just want to get some feedback on how we can support you better. That's the Wada Forum. For Intersect governance or our constitutional corner, last week we focused on Cardano governance. We spoke about the workshops and delegates preparations for Argentina. We also discussed the importance of African representation in governance, budget discussions, and branding. We had delegates on the call last week, most of them that are going representing Africa here. So they introduced themselves, and then there were some that had put in applications for Intersect committee and board roles. So some of them said that on the call. We also spoke about the annual members meeting. That's the Intersect annual members meeting in Accra, Northern Ghana, Nairobi, and Ngoma in DRC. And then we also spoke about Cardano Summit, which will happen. The main event is happening in Dubai, and there's a community event happening in Tamale in Ghana. Megan, over to you. Thanks.
Okay, thanks so much, Adufwa. And for more details, you can always check out the recording if you want some more details on some of that. We're very excited last week to get to start introducing some of the DREPs and, sorry, not DREPs, but delegates. Too many different words floating around. Some of the delegates, and we'll have some more time in general on these calls to go into some more details on all of that. So maybe Samuel, you and I will share this slide. I can give some of the updates that I'm aware of, and you can jump in with anything I'm forgetting about. So obviously Adufwa just went over, we talked about this last call, timeline for Fund 13, submission deadline has closed for submissions of first drafts. We now have a week to finish, well, a little bit less than a week. Deadline for completing finalization is next Wednesday at 11 a.m. UTC, except for the partners category. So for the larger partners category, you have a bit longer until the 1st of November. Additionally, the community review registration is now opening. And maybe we could pause here for any feedback from anyone here on their experience. My understanding, although I haven't registered yet for this round, is that there's a new verification process they're implementing with the reviewers. So if anyone has any experience with that they'd like to share, please raise your hand. Or maybe I'll call on someone.
Yeah, okay, Megan. So in terms of the registration, yesterday I tried to register, but the notification I got was that within 24 hours, they were going to send me a mail which has the link to take you through the registration process. So at this point, I don't know what it entails, the whole verification process I'm talking about. If anybody on the call has gone through the process and knows about the requirement and all, that they are free to share. Thank you.
Okay. So I haven't actually done mine personally, but there's someone I know who was talking about it today in the office. So he received an email and there was a link that he could click to continue the verification process. And I think they asked him for certain things like proof of address. So I think for that, he could either use a utility bill or a statement of account that had his address on it to verify that. And I think there was a place that he had to upload his ID card. That's yes, identity card, has passport, driver's license, ID card. There was a place to scan his face as well. There was a place for him to put his personal details too. So yes, that's what I'm aware of at the moment.
That's interesting. Catalyst is going a whole different level. So does that mean, Edufa, maybe you might not have the authoritative information on this, but from what you're saying, if someone is not able to provide these documents, then probably they are not able to go on with the registration process, right?
Yes. So there was a part where he uploaded his statements of account, and then it kept saying like he couldn't move on. I think it kept rejecting it. So I think the reason was that his address wasn't on his statements of account. So it's proof of address. So they want to see that the address that you have put in is on maybe a document, a utility bill or a bank statement or something. So he had to change it, maybe use a utility bill or something. So without that, you can't move on. Yeah, I think that's that.
So the statement of account which you say, do you know, does it refer to, did you mean bank account?
Yes, sorry, bank account, sorry. Statement, like as in bank
But
statement.
why would they need a bank account for? I mean, they are not paying us through bank accounts and things.
No, they just want proof of address. So they gave different examples of how you can do that. So if your address is on your bank statement or if there's a utility bill, I know these two, but I think there are other options. Yeah, just to prove that like you really live at the location that you have put it.
Oh my God.
Yes, thank you.
I see.
Okay, let me quickly just translate the conversation so we can include everyone.
Sure.
Bon, bref, l'inscription à la fonction de réviseur communautaire est ouverte, mais il y a un nouveau élément à franchir pour s'inscrire dans cette séance. Edufa a mentionné sa propre expérience, qu'elle a dû télécharger une photo d'elle-même et une fracture d'électricité ou fracture de banque avec son nom et son adresse pour confirmer son adresse. Alors, on est en train de discuter comment ce n'est pas forcément juste. Ça peut être un élément qui bloque certaines, mais on va vous amener plus d'informations sur ça la semaine prochaine. C'est une nouvelle sur laquelle on n'a pas trop d'informations à l'instant-ci. So I think next week we should probably get some more specific information for everyone on that in terms of what advice we can give to our community, because I know a lot of people maybe listening to this call might not have that. I know from our side in Cameroon we don't often have things with our address written on it in a way that might be acceptable to this type of a system. So I think on our side, we'll bring some more conversation and shed some more light on that at next week's session.
Yes, Megan, and I think it's ending on the 20th of this month. I don't know, by that time, would you have had another?
Yeah, we have another, our next session is on the 17th, so that should be in time then if the deadline's the 20th.
I guess we can gather more information on that and share in the next or in the subsequent forum.
Before we move on, I just want to say that I think for every verification they needed, there are multiple options. So I don't think, I'm sure we'll find one, like not just the bank statement. I think when I said the bank statement, it looked ridiculous because everybody's thinking, what do they need a bank statement
but
for?
it's understandable.
But there are other things like mortgage payments, notification from government agencies, like there are other things that they are asking for. So
you say it's the proof of address that they want. So bank account is something that your proof of address or your residential address and things can also be provided on that. So I think it makes sense. And the other documents that you talk about, but we will look more into it, probably get more information next week. So that's fine. Thank you, Ajufa, for your help. Megan, take over.
Well, I just want to put my last word in. What about people that don't have addresses? They're then excluded. I don't know if this is fair, but that's all I'll say on that. Moving on. I hope everyone got their proposals in on time. I know it's always exciting rushing up to the deadline, but in future sessions, we'll probably have opportunities to showcase your proposals before we get into voting. So just know this is a space for that. Next, on the Singularity Net side, I'm going to call up Samuel again to give us some updates on what's going on over there.
Okay, hello everyone. Megan, thank you very much. Before I go on, let me state that I've put in the document that I am talking about in the chat. So if you have time, you can look at it. The whole information about Singularity Net that we want to talk about is their H1 2024 report. That's the report for the first half of the year. And it's actually a comprehensive document, a very detailed document that we cannot go through everything. But for the benefit of this show, we are talking about the key highlights, and that was given by the Chief Operating Officer. And there are 6 pointers that I quickly want to run us through in terms of the artificial super intelligence measure, their AGI conference, that's artificial general intelligence. There was some hardware investment during the first half of the year, and as well as some leadership expansion. There's also some growth in their followership, and last but not the least, some recognition as far as in the industry. And so quickly, let me highlight on some of these things. The first one, which was about their artificial super intelligence, Singularity Net actually announced and successfully executed the ASI token merger. The report says this is a major milestone which is aimed at streamlining the ecosystem, and also for the fact that the merger positions the organization to challenge the dominance of big tech players as far as this industry is concerned. The second one is about the AGI conference, the first of its kind, which was held in Panama. And the key point here is that it drew significant attention to advancements in general purpose AI systems. Number 3 is hardware investment. And we are told SNET invested about $23 million in GPUs. I referred to graphics processing units and some other supporting infrastructure. This investment, according to a report, is aimed at ensuring a robust computational power for AI research and innovation. Number 4, as some leadership expansion, SNET was able to hire 2 new executives during the first half of the year, and not just to say bolster the leadership team, but it is a strategic move to enhance the company's capability in order to scale and meet its ambitious goals. Number 5, we are talking about some growth in the followership, and the exciting news is that the organization was able to grow by 36,000 new followers, and this actually is an indication of a growing public and an industry interest in its project and vision. Last, it's the industry recognition, where we are told SingularityNet continued to gain industry recognition by winning several coveted awards during the period. So this is great news, which means that the organization is seen as reinforcing its leadership position in the AI space. These are a few things I want to share. Details of all that is found in the document that I've just sent the link in the chat, so maybe you might want to look at it. Thank you very much. And Megan, take over from here. Thanks.
Oh, Samuel, that was heavy.
Yeah, that's actually very heavy.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to translate exactly, but I'll try to give a bit of a high level. Bon, Samuel nous a mis notre attention sur un document qui est sorti de SingularityNet. Il a publié dans le chat un lien pour suivre le document plus en détail. Mais pour bref, ça représente une vue des ensembles de développement clés dans leur écosystème, y compris l'avancement de la roadmap, le R&D, Research and Development, développement et recherche du AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, intelligence artificielle générale, peut-être, le développement de la plateforme de SNET et la fusion des jetons de ASI Alliance, les initiatives de la communauté et les événements. Et il y aura plus d'informations dans ce document si vous êtes intéressé d'en savoir plus. Merci beaucoup. All right, Sam, you put me on the spot, but I think I said something coherent.
I think you have a very good memory. I mean, I don't know French, but I think you got a great summary of all that I said. Thank you. Okay.
All right. So next up on our agenda, we're going to talk about our Intersect updates. And so the first thing on Intersect we have is Intersect board and committee elections that are coming up. So we wanted to take this chance to introduce and showcase the different candidates that are coming from the WADA network. And if you know of anyone who is missed on here, feel free to post in the chat or raise your hand, etc. But at this time, we can give, if anyone is here and they are running for any position on the Intersect, we can give you a minute to introduce yourselves and give your pitch of why we should vote for you.
Okay, Megan, before that comes,
Yeah.
sorry to butt in. Let's go to the next slide. We have compiled all the WADA candidates or all WADA community members who are vying for any of these positions. That's displayed on your shot. So maybe you can help us run us through this. Then after that, anybody on the call, if they want to introduce themselves, they can start.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I was a bit out of order here, wasn't I? So for a general overview, Intersect is opening up positions for both committee and board members. So those are different types of spots or positions that are available. these will be voted on by all Intersect members, and we've talked about in the past weeks. We warned you all of the deadline to register, etc. So everyone who's registered now in Intersect will have a chance to vote on these committee and board members. So some of the different areas that are up for election, we have the Civics Committee, we have the Budget Committee, Intersect Steering Committee, Product Committee, and then the Membership and Community Committee. So on your screen, you see who we've noticed as people coming from the African side of the world that we're highlighting here. Is there another slide for the different
this is
committee? Okay.
just a compilation of all the members in the Wada community who are vying for different positions. So maybe now we can open the window for those on the call who want to introduce themselves. And after that, Nana Safo will take us through the voting process, how to vote. In case anybody here is wondering how to do that, Nana Safo will help us through that. And then we can look at the other items on the call.
Okay, well, everyone's
and Nana
thinking.
Safo is asking why some people are highlighted in green in the membership and community election. Nana Safo, there is no emphasis. I think the designer thought that there are so many names on that particular list, so he decided to at least, differentiate some of them by different colors. It's not any emphasis. All the candidates there have applied in the membership and community election, and it's for the benefit of us to know them and vote for them when we are about to do that. I don't know if that's clear, Nana.
Yeah, it is. Initially, I thought those were people who actually have leads, but
no, not that.
Yeah, thanks for the clarity.
Okay, so Megan, maybe I can start introducing
ici,
myself because I'm also...
Bon, d'abord, je vais introduire en français. Maintenant, on a réservé cet espace dans le forum pour introduire les candidats qui se présentent pour être élus comme membre du board ou membre du comité d'Intersect. Et ici sur l'écran, vous voyez les comités éligibles et aussi une liste des membres, des candidats dans notre communauté. Alors, on ouvre maintenant aux candidats qui sont présents de vous présenter en anglais comme en français. Vous avez 1 minute et je pense que Samuel voulait d'abord lancer les introductions. So, over to you, Samuel.
Yes, I wanted to ask for your permission to introduce myself, if you want me to start, actually, because I'm here and I'm also vying for about 2 positions. So
yeah, perfect. So maybe just try to keep it to a minute and talk about which position you're going for and why we should vote for you.
Yeah, I'm just going for the Intersect Steering Committee, and I'll bundle the two together for sake of time. My name is Samuel Kubi, and I'm also going for the Membership and Community Committee election. I don't want to talk much about myself. I've been here, I work for WADA, and my voice is very familiar on this call. Why I think you should vote for me is the fact that I have a background in IT project management. I'm actually having my MBA focused on IT management now in Berlin. I bring a hands-on approach to fostering engagement and ensuring that at least all voices are heard and represented. And if, thankfully, I am elected, I am going to make sure I work with the other team to ensure that Intersect remains a transparent, inclusive, and forward-thinking community. An entity that is focused on empowering members and building bridges across the ecosystem. That's a little I can say, Megan. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I don't see any other hands up, so I'll just take this opportunity to highlight Mercy's name on the list here.
Yes.
I know everyone knows Mercy. Unfortunately, she's not able to be on the call today due to a personal conflict. However, I think we all are very aware of Mercy's passion for Cardano and for Intersect and for representing our voices from the WADA community. And I think she would be an excellent person to have on the budget committee. So I'll just give that pitch on her behalf.
And maybe it means a lot when Mercy gets on the budget committee to serve the interests of WADA and the Africa continent as a whole. So let's do well and appreciate that. Thanks.
All right, and then Samuel, what's the due date for this election? Do you have that information?
I think it's ending also around the 20th, but I can confirm that. Adufo, do you have information on that?
I can quickly check and let you know. I think we should.
Yeah, maybe if you get it, put it in the chat. But I guess it's ending around the 20th.
20th.
Yeah, around the 20th of this month as well. So, yeah.
All right, so we'll have another chance at next forum for anyone who was not here today. So if you're watching the recording and you're thinking about how you missed this opportunity to present yourself, please join us for next week's forum and we'll give you another opportunity.
All right.
But next I want to invite Nana Safu to share screen and walk us through how to actually go about this vote.
Okay. Thanks, Megan.
Okay. Bon, maintenant, je vais inviter Nana Safa à partager son écran et nous montrer comment concrètement voter pour ces candidats. Over to you.
Sure, thank you. So let me just share my screen real quick. I think some of the members are actually joining in now. Probably they are late.
It's like they heard us talking about them.
Can we give them a minute each to at least say something, Megan? Do we have that time?
There's time.
While Nana Safa is preparing to share the screen and everything.
Yeah, maybe we could do it after he shares the screen. And then if you're on the call and you are running for a position on the Intersect committee, we'll give you a minute after this presentation to present yourselves.
Okay, so is my screen live? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
I can see.
Awesome. So I'll put the link in the chat if in case you don't have it. But if you want to, let me just put a link in the chat right now. Intersect. Okay, so the link is in the chat now. So once you click on the link, you will be asked to log in. That is, if you're not already logged in on your browser. So you'll be asked to log in, and then once you log in, you'll be presented with your dashboard, where you get a chance to see your membership status and the benefits and what have you. So on your left-hand side, you realize that there are some buttons over there or some items over there. So you just click on voting from there, and then it will take you to the voting panel. I have already completed my votes, but after voting, you still have the chance to actually, make some changes if you want to. So these are the these are the 8 categories from which you are going to select your votes and then submit. So I'll just select, let's say, budget committee, and it is the same process for all the other, categories. The only difference is that some categories are receiving less seats and some are also receiving more seats. So you just have to pay attention to the number of seats that each category is actually receiving before you submit your voting. Yeah, so once you click on view votes, it presents you with a list of people who have submitted their interest in becoming a member of a particular, owning a seat on a particular committee. So for service committee, for instance, when you read the headline, you realize that they are telling that this is a vote. This vote is to elect voting seat into the service committee. and the committee is selecting only 4 voting seats. So it means that you can vote for only 4 individuals out of the list listed as candidates, right? And before you cast your vote, if you want to have your time to read about any candidate before casting your vote, all you have to do is to just click on the Here button. Let me see if I can take you guys there. So once you click on the Here button, automatically it presents you with a list of candidates for that particular committee. So if you want to look at somebody, here I'll look at, for instance, let's say Nathaniel, because we all know Nathaniel over here.
Yes.
Right. Now you have the chance to look at his application. So you look at the answers he provided for each question. And then if you feel like you are good with the answers he has provided and you think based on the answers he has provided, he'll be able to deliver, then you go ahead and then you vote for him. So in voting for him, I have casted my vote already, like I said. But if I should go to change votes right now, I have the chance to select who I want to vote for. So as you can see, I've already selected 4 people and then voted for them on this particular committee, right? So if I should unselect anybody or I should untick anybody, I now have the chance to select any other person from the previous list who were highlighted as or maybe grayed out, right? So now I can select any other person in addition to the 3 and then submit. But because I voted for Nathaniel, I'll just go back and then vote for Nathaniel because I know him and I know his capability. So after selecting your list, which is 4, you go ahead and then you click on submit my vote. It takes some time and then it will be recorded. So you see the vote was successfully casted. And then over here, it changes to vote submitted, right? And then you go back and then you go and look at the other categories or committees that you want to, vote on. So let's just have a quick look at each and every category and then how many seats are available for voting. So with the budget committee, there are 4 seats available, and these are the list of candidates. So you have to consider that when you're doing your voting. And then the interstate steering committee, which is really technical, that one too, there is 3 seats, only 3 seats available. And these are the candidates who are, fighting for the seats. And then if you look at open source committee, there is 4 seats also, and then these are the candidates, right? So you want to look at it. And then with the product committee, there is 4 seats as well, and then these are the candidates also. And then membership, that one I think there are 5 seats. Yes, there are 5 seats, and these are the list of the candidates, a lot of them.
There are more people on the membership score.
Yeah, Nana Safo, there's a question in the chat. On those, do you need to vote for the total number that are up, or can you vote for fewer?
Actually, you can vote for less, but you cannot vote for more than the total number of seats being requested. So you can choose to vote for instance, if there are 4 seats, you can choose to vote for 3, but you cannot vote for 4. You cannot vote for 5. You can only vote up to 4. Yeah. And then the technical steering, there is 5 seats, and these are the list as well. And then the last one, which is the board election, there is 2 seats, and then these are the candidates. So yeah, when you go through the candidates, you look at their profiles and then you make your decisions and then you cast your votes before 20th of October, 10 a.m. UTC. Thank you. Are there any other questions? If not, I'll just...
Thank you very much. The only thing I want to say is that, or if you have any clarity you can add, those who have the power to vote are only paid up members. So if you are an associate member, you are not eligible to vote.
Exactly, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So if you have not paid the $10.
The $10, yeah.
That is it.
All right. I think that next, I'm going to pass over the hosting baton to Samuel. And the next thing on our agenda is Cardano Governance Corner with a big announcement.
Yes, Megan, but before that, let's give maybe some 5 minutes to get those who were not here but are vying for some positions right now. I see some of them have joined. If they want to introduce themselves, talk about why we should vote for them, please, they have 1 minute to do that, and then we can go on to the governance corner. I've seen that you're on the call. Do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us the committees you are vying for and why we should vote for you. And any other person, if you want to, kindly raise your hand, and we can go through this real quick.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Boaz, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Great, thank you. Nice. Yeah, it's all right. I'm running for MCC in this round of elections, and so why people should vote for me? According to me, it's because I'm firmly committed to fostering an inclusive and a supportive environment, and my approach with members, ensuring that different voices are heard and evaluated. So by developing resources and creating networking opportunities, I aim to enhance the overall member experience and foster meaningful interaction within the community. That's all, because I know I couldn't take much time here. Thank you.
Somebody is asking what your campaign slogan is, but if you can quickly say what you have just said in French for the benefit of the French folks, that'll be fine. What?
Sorry?
You can quickly say what you have just said for the benefit of the French folks, that will be fine.
Ah, ok. Bon, j'étais en train de dire que les gens devraient voter pour moi parce que j'ai plus d'engagement dans la communauté, et en particulier, je suis un community builder et j'ai travaillé beaucoup plus sur l'engagement de la communauté à faire à ce qu'une communauté soit durable et qu'il y ait plus des interactions sans discrimination. Alors, c'est pour ça que je disais que l'on devrait voter pour moi. Je vais essayer de mettre ici un lien pour plus d'informations vu que l'on n'a pas assez de temps ici. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Boaz. For the benefit of those who didn't join the call earlier, I am Samuel Kobe. I'm also vying for Intersect Steering Committee and MCC as well. We also talked about Mercy, our very own Mercy, who is also vying for a seat on the Budget Committee. We kindly ask you to vote for her as well and push her to that particular committee. It will be beneficial to all of us here in the community and the African landscape as a whole. Thank you very much. Since there is no one's hand up, I think we can quickly go on to the governance corner. I hand over the baton to Nana Safo again to take us through the WADA official launch. Next slide, please.
Someone's hand is up.
Who? I didn't see, sorry.
Hello.
Please, if your hand is up, kindly unmute and go ahead.
Hello, please, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, you are. Please go on.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. So my name is Eko Haden from Ghana. I'm contesting for the civics committee. I've been around for like about 2 to 3 years, and my interest in this particular committee stemmed more when I happened to moderate the constitution workshop in Ghana. I think somewhere last month thereabout. That opportunity actually enlightened my understanding in the works of the Intersect. I think earlier this year too, I also was able to have a direct workshop, and that's what's actually motivating me to go for this particular committee. As I've mentioned most of the time that I've been using this opportunity to learn a lot from the whole Cardano ecosystem, and I'm particularly looking out for those who are also like new to the ecosystem yet are not really like finding their part or the true understanding how they can also contribute to help and build a better ecosystem too. And I'm particularly reliable and I'm always up for the task. So that's why I believe you should also vote for me too. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Echo. Your background is quite impressive, and the sort of things you are doing. Please remember him in the civic committee if you are voting. Do we have some more hands?
I think I'm here. But before I go on, I think I have to ask a question whether what I'm to do or is allowed, because I want to find out. I'm not running, but I'm voting. Whether is I allowed to campaign for someone?
You want to campaign for someone who is not here?
The name is here. Then one person name is not here, but another person name is not here.
Quickly put that name in the chat. And yes, we're going to read this announcement as well. If you know anybody who is vying for any position that whose name is actually not on this list, please put it on the chat. Our very own Edufa will take care of that, and it will be added the social forum for the hand.
Okay.
Who do you want to talk about, please?
I just want to talk about the first person is Mohammed Mustafa Yakubu. He's also running for the membership committee, and then I think he's not around. We have been working together for quite some time since 2021. He's on board, and then
okay. Say listen. We're actually running out of time. We need to do other stuff. Tell him we have another opportunity next week. For those who are not here to, also come and showcase themselves. So if you can join next week, that will be fine. Or if not, we can have more time for you next week to highlight him as well. So I guess that's it. But thank you very much. So quickly, let's move on to Nana Safo, who has all the updates in terms of the launch of the Wada Europe. Nana, take over.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry to those who could not talk about themselves. I know there are a few guys like Chris and then Mustafa. Unfortunately, they couldn't talk about themselves, but hopefully next week.
Dedicate more time next week for this particular purpose. So please, guys, please come next week and you have more time to do that back to back. Thanks.
Definitely. All right. So let's just get straight into it. Today we are launching the Wada DREP officially, which means that today you have the chance to delegate your wallet to the Wada DREP pool, so that we can begin to work on the activities and stuff from there. Next slide, Edufa. Okay, thank you. So that is the Wada DREP ID. I believe you all can see, starting with DREP 155 up to WM6. I'm going to put the ID in the chat right now, so that when we get to the stage where we'll have to delegate, you can just copy from there and then make the delegation easier for you. So that's the ID in the chat. And if you want to read more about it, you can visit our socials on X at WADA_org, and then also on LinkedIn to just search for WADA.org, and then you will find WADA to read a bit more about what we seek to do. Next slide. All right. So for each and every DREP pool, before you delegate to them, you have to know a thing or two about this particular DREP pool before you delegate your stake to them. Why is it necessary? It is necessary because for any DREP at all that you delegate your stake to, it means that you have given them your voting rights. And in Ghana, just as we practice, once you elect a member of parliament into, the legislation chamber, they are there to represent you as an individual. So now your voice really doesn't matter, but what they say or do at the legislative corner is what matters for the country. So you want to make sure that whoever it is that you are delegating your stake to is somebody that really or truly represents your core values and principles as an individual in the ecosystem. So quickly, I'll run you through what our objectives are as WADA DREP. we all know that for WADA, in the long run, all we seek to do basically is to secure and maintain the core infrastructure of Cardano, which includes stake operators as well. So for a long time now, we have been working very, very, very hard on ensuring that at least the infrastructure of the Cardano ecosystem is very well secured and maintained for the betterment of the entire, community. And then we also seek to drive adoption at the ground level through events and then workshops and hackathons. And this particular event is one of such. There are many more that we always seek to do, and I believe majority of you here know about the various kinds of events that WADA have been hosting and then co-hosting, just to ensure that the community is stable, right? So we also look to support developers and then entrepreneurs in building the dApps of the future. This is something that is really keen to us as WADA. We always want to ensure that any form of developers, whether being Web 2 or Web 3, of course, if you are Web 2, we want to ensure that you get the chance to upgrade yourself into the Web 3 development space. If you are Web 3 too, you are encouraged and motivated to keep on learning, because each and every day life keeps evolving, and then problems keeps evolving and solutions are needed. So we always ensure that we give developers the maximum courage and push so that they're able to build decentralized applications to help us in solving of real world problems in a Web3 ecosystem in which we find ourselves. And then also we are also looking at the long-term sustainability through robust governance and treasury management protocols. So we also want to ensure that at least from the African perspective, the Cardano ecosystem's treasury is being protected and protected very well. And the funds in there are not just being misused and then running the ecosystem probably into some form of ditch. Next slide. All right, so having heard about the objectives of Wada DREP, I know that there are some people who would still be asking themselves, why must I even delegate to Wada DREP? The DREP pool for Wada basically comprises a solid team with over 4 years of experience across, marketing, branding, education, and then Web3 innovation in Africa. So the majority of our work focuses on Africa. How to make Africa inclusive in the entire ecosystem. And then we represent ADA holders who share our vision for expanding access to resources that facilitate their contribution to Cardano. So if you're an ADA holder and all the time you are looking at how you'll be able to access resources to be able to contribute to the ecosystem, then, mind you are part of us, automatically you're part of us. So all we are asking of you to do is just to use our DREP ID and then delegate to our DREP. And if you don't know how to go about that, I'm going to show you that in a jiffy so that you know how to delegate to our DREP. Edufa, could you allow me to share my screen? Okay. So if you are an ADA holder and you're wondering how you can delegate to the Wada DREP pool, you need, first of all, an account or a wallet on Eternal. I think that is the most simplest way you can delegate to a DREP now, as of now. So you just need a wallet on Eternal. And if you don't know how to go about that, I think when you go to YouTube, there are a lot of videos that will run you through how to get your wallet on Eternal. And it doesn't really matter whether you are using Yoroi or you are using Daedalus or whatever wallet you are using, right? Once you hop onto Eternal and then you click on Add Wallet, it will allow you to actually migrate your, or create a copy of your Yoroi wallet on the Eternal wallet so that you can now have access to your funds to do the voting. So once you have your account and you're in your wallet, all you need to do is that on this particular dashboard, you just click on voting. Once you click on voting, there are 2 tabs. Automatically, it will take you to the Catalyst project funding, but that is not what we are looking at. We are looking at blockchain governance. So you click on blockchain governance, and then now you realize that the status of your wallet will be undelegated if you have not delegated yet. And it is very important to delegate, because if you don't delegate, then you will probably not be able to access your staking rewards in the next era in which we seek to enter very soon. So from the new vote delegation, you just select specify DREP ID, and then you copy the Wada DREP ID that I've put in the chat, and then you paste it here like that. And all you got to do is just to click on delegate. Right? You click on delegate, and there's a minimum amount of funds that is required. I think about 100 ADA or so, or 10 ADA or so. So you just need something minimum, like maybe a 12 ADA to be able to complete such transaction, right? I think for this particular wallet, there's nothing in there, so it wouldn't go through. But you just need about 10 ADA minimum to do that transaction, and then you will have your wallet delegated to, the Wada DREP pool to help us amass stake, so that our voices would also be heard in the Cardano governance era. I'll stop my screen sharing here, and then if you have any questions, you can ask. So that
quickly, if you delegate to a particular DREP, can you at a later time change your mind and undelegate and redelegate to another?
Yes, you can. You can at any time, choose to stop delegating to a particular DREP and then probably delegate to another DREP. And that is very essential, because we know that there's going to be some DREPs who probably will not be performing. So if you find yourself delegating to such a DREP pool, you always have the opportunity to actually stop delegating and delegate to another one that you think is going to perform, as far as your principles and values are concerned in the ecosystem.
All right. As usual, you always come through with succinct presentation. Thank you very much, Nanessa, for we have just 2 minutes to the top of the hour. If anybody has questions on the call today, please kindly raise your hand and we'll ask you. If you have any contributions to, you are welcome. We have talked about a lot of things, the intersect elections. We have talked about the launch of the Wada DREP earlier on. We shared information on Catalyst, the fact that submissions are over, and in the next 1 week we are going through the finalizations and the opening of the community reviewers and matters that arise, including now the demand for your verification status and things like that. If you have anything, please share with us. If not, we can bring today's edition to an end. All right then. Since we don't really have anybody with any questions or any contributions, we draw the curtain down. This has been Wada Forum. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's take the conversation from here to our socials. You can get us, send us a mail at hello@wada.org. You can visit our website. It is wada.org. Join the socials, Wada Global, on Facebook, on X, on IG, on YouTube, and most importantly, on WhatsApp, where you can even share information regarding where and which committees on Intersect that you are vying for, so that people can vote for you in the voting round. Thank you very much again for joining us. Let's meet next week for some more exciting updates in our ecosystems and around the world. Thank you. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you join us from. Have a good time. Bye-bye.